Welcome to ClickStar, brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama. Check them out at LuckyDiceCafe.com. And now for your hosts, Daniel Powell, Jason Alvey, and Tyler Speeds.
Hey everybody, welcome to ClickStuff today. This is your host Daniel Powell speaking. Just want to let everyone know that ClickStuff is brought to you by TrollandToad.com. Find HeroClix new and old on TrollandToad.com, the world's largest HeroClix retailer. Use coupon code ClickStuff for 5% off your HeroClix order. Merchant and pre-order items do not apply. If you like what you're hearing today on ClickStuff, please consider supporting the podcast and everything we do on patreon.com/clickstuff. $1 and above gets you entered into our monthly contest. $5 and above gets you entered into our exclusive Discord server and HeroClix classes. And then joining me today is Jason Alvey.
What's up?
And Alex Cruzz.
Hey.
So I didn't have anything catchy to say for your guys' middle names today because I'm thinking about, speaking of cool patron things, if you were a patron, you would already be aware that we have launched our own website. Major thanks to Alex for helping us get that launched. Simply, it is clickstuff.com. So
yep.
Thank you very much, Alex, for all of your work getting that going.
Yeah, it would have been a lot sooner. I had designed it prior to the personal events that I had gone through on Easter, and kind of all of that delayed it a lot. So luckily it's ready. It looks great. I'm excited about it. We're going to be publishing a lot of articles on there. It has links to our Patreon, our podcast. It has links to everything related to us, our Facebook page. All of that is on our website. And we'll post articles, news stuff about the team, all sorts of stuff on there. So definitely be sure to check it out. Super easy website to remember, clickstuff.com. So
yeah, I'm super excited that we were able to get the website posted as an actual just clickstuff.com, no dot something else or anything, and nothing wrong with those folks that do, but just a lot easier to brand clickstuff.com. So
yeah, definitely a lot easier. I'm excited about it. So
Alex has his first article up, which is his take on what we're talking about today in detail, which is the sideline folks. So with troublemakers and trouble alerts. So we'll get to that a little bit later in the episode. Want to first talk about some of the online events, cover some of the cool teams that we've seen there. And first of all, a big congratulations to Esteban for winning that whole event with his Immortal Hulk team, which was Immortal Hulk, Mr. Sinister, Magneto, Danger Rooms, Ace, Iron Avengers Assemble, Octopus Arms, Liar, Influence Ring, and a whole bunch of sideline stuff. So Esteban was the one that knocked out my Avengers team. He played the team really well. I was just not ready for Hulk that day. And Ace did matter because I missed a 7, I think, 4 or 5 times to do some work. And I burned all my theme team probs that turn. So that kind of sucked.
Yeah, I've been playing around with Esteban's team because I really liked it. And Ace is one of those figures on it, like, you keep looking at it, you're like, it's 60 points. That's way too many points. Let's take it off. But every time I look at it, I'm like, I don't know really who to replace her with. Like,
Yeah,
She does that. She does a lot. So
she does a lot. Now, the only thing is with all of these results, and what I guess what bothers me is that there was 52 players in this event, and there was no Justice League Batman teams.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I get that she has a counter, or that Batman has a counter with the Black Widow team and the shifting focus one, but there was only one of those in the top cut. So, I think I've got to be able to see one of these events go down where someone enters in the Black Widow meta, enters with the Justice League Prime Batman. And it doesn't have to be all in, right? It doesn't have to be the plus 11. It could be, Batman as a secondary attacker type thing or something like that. But
Yeah, I've been working with Batman before I started playing Esteban's team as a no theme. Playing him, Gardner, what were the rest of it? It's just kind of a collage of a bunch of different pieces to try to make him work, and it wasn't bad. Like, he just works on a bunch of different teams. It's so I think the thing is that Ace kind of also inhibits Batman, doesn't she? Like, you kill her, she kills all the fates outside of the main one.
Yeah.
well, so
There was.
I mean, I get that, but she's also going to get one shot, or more specifically, if you're playing the Exospecs version, that's only going to tag her for 4. So theoretically, you're hitting the team for 8 before she dies. And then if you roll doubles, she dies, right, from the knockback damage. Off at elevation or something. I get that dealing 4 and then knockback only because dealing 4 would put her on click 5 and then the knockback would kill her.
Right.
So there's lots of options. That's what happened when I played her. I crit hit, but I dealt knockback damage and she died. So if you give Batman Force Blast, or even push him to that third click with the Exospecs, use Psy Blast, pick Force Blast, she's a goner, without dealing that one unavoidable damage to the team.
There was one Prime Batman Justice League team in the Heroes Throwdown, but it didn't make it out of the pods.
Yeah.
It was in the same pod Esteban was in.
Yeah, I'd have to look at whatever was in his pod. Swiss round results.
It was Esteban with his team, and then Matt Gretchenos' team with Brotherhood, and then there was a Black Widow Avengers +5 team in the same pod.
Yeah, so was that Jay's team?
No, it was John Nazario's Black Widow team.
Yeah.
But it almost made it out. Esteban beat him out by 3 points.
Oh, that's right. So that was, that goes back to don't include the tire stack on your team unless you can use it.
That's humorous.
Yeah, so there was a Prime Batman Future theme team.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So there was a couple of them, but there was a Prime Batman martial artist, but maybe I'm just being a little bit picky on some of these things.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think, I don't know if the JLU Batman just has, and I didn't mean for us to take so much time talking about this, but it sounds so good on paper, but does it just have too many counters? Because, I feel like Ace, sure, you could get in a situation where you knock her back or kill her. But if I'm playing against Batman, I'm going to put her in front of my units so that way she just can't be knocked back. She just knocks back in front of another unit. I want you to kill her so that way you get 60 points, but I get 40. And now Batman is significantly nerfed because he loses all his enhancements from Fates. So now you're chilling with Batman, who's on click 2, or maybe you influenced him to 3 or whatever, and you're going against Hulk, Magneto, Sinister. I mean, they're just going to keep taking one or however many Hulk will take. I'm okay with that. So I feel like Ace is not a hard counter, but maybe a soft counter to make them rethink about just, I'm going to blast your team a bunch, because you don't want to lose all those fates.
Well, you're only losing about 50 points of fates.
Right, but you lose the actions too. So now you're down to back to 4 actions, as opposed to 6 or 7, however many you have.
But there should be plenty to just continually blast the map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially if you're on.
And he was playing like 60 point.
Especially if you're playing the Exospecs Batman.
Right.
I think that's key. Everyone's using the knock him back into the wall version, but I think you've got to do the Exospecs, and that goes back to my pacing. Even against the Black Widow Marvel team, if you don't hit a rollout, or like I'm sorry, not a rollout, but the Justice League Unlimited 6 trait, you don't have enough damage to kill Captain Marvel before they can come across the map.
Yeah.
Or you don't have enough times to shoot. But if you do it from click 1 on turn 2, you can potentially push hard enough and she's toast. So, I think I'm probably going to try the team, although I'm kind of on a little bit of a vulture kick at the moment.
He was playing like 60-point starter Superman on this team. I really don't know why.
So with him, with the influence ring, he can get a free attack off.
Okay.
So if so obviously it activates Prime Batman, right? But Superman has super strength free. Place Batman adjacent to an opposing character he knocked back at least 1 square this turn, then make a close attack targeting that character.
Okay.
So he can do speed +2. So he's got 12. The Justice
13,
League team, 13 with a sidestep, so he can go 15 squares. Reach out 3 squares with the influence ring, knock somebody back, then voop next to them, and then punch them. Plus Martian Manhunter gets you half movement as well. So it's basically all the way across the map, and you're punching someone, how many ever perplexes that you have.
So can we take a moment real quick and talk about how maybe this is one of the best starter sets we've gotten in a long time? Because if Superman's good, we know Martian Manhunter's good, Flash is pretty good. Like, these are legit. Like, I can't think of another starter set outside of all the Hulks from Thor that we're consistently using a lot of the figures from. Like, they just work so well together.
Well, so you had, since TMT, you had the Hulks, and then you had the Fast Forces Giant Girls.
Which is just one figure.
One figure, yeah. The Hulks was one figure. Then TMT4, though, you got all of the Turtles, the Shredder, and the Pogs.
Were those the coin turtles or
the coin turtle? Yeah, the coin turtles.
The coin turtles.
Okay, then, that's fair then. That's fair.
Yeah, it's probably been the best one since Turtles.
Well, technically that was the Fast Forces, but they're the same thing. I'm going to count it as the same thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, and everybody talked about them, but nobody really played them that much.
But then again, that same set gave us Mudman, so
yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's about the same thing. But do I think necessarily am I going to say that Esteban loses to an Exospecs Batman? No. Will it give him more of a fight than what Colin Bell's team gave him? Yes. I don't know if he beat Colin. I don't know if Colin beat.
No, Esteban. He lost to Esteban. He lost to Esteban 135 to 300.
Yeah, so I don't know if, I'm not going to say definitively that it'll beat it, but it'll certainly give a better fight than the non-Exospecs version.
Yeah.
So, maybe I'll play that.
He actually beat the Shifty Widow team.
Yeah, I mean, because
300 points.
Yeah, you can TK into position and get a good. Well, because he's got Superman that can just run up and punch Widow in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And then Batman goes pew pew. So, because the Shifty Widow doesn't have combat reflexes, right? That causes all of the trouble.
Yeah, it does. The can't use improved targeting Widow has combat reflexes.
Huh.
The 001 Black Widow.
Well, then again, I guess he can just go up and punch it too, and just kill it. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, again, Esteban played really well. He played super well against me. I think. Go ahead.
Sorry, but Superman wouldn't work against that team because you can't use stealth against it, right? Because of their stealth, you can't use the influence ring.
I don't guess so. But he can just go punch them.
I know that's a game I might want to go watch. That might be interesting to see how that actually played out.
That's what I'm saying. He can get TK'd into position. He can get TK'd into position to just go punch them.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Maybe it's some.
I mean, I don't know. You could do the same thing with Hawk Girl for half the points.
Yeah, but in other matchups, though, but in other matchups, he can punch twice with more damage.
Yeah.
Because he can CCE and then use the perplex damage on something else too. So maybe just a little bit more oomph than Hawk Girl.
I mean, Superman's only doing 3, Hawk Girl's doing 3, and she has Flurry.
The thing is, Superman's 60 points and has 2 stop clicks. I think that's the key thing, is that he's just not going to die super easy because of 2 stop clicks. So, I like that.
I get it. I like both ideas. I like Hawk Girl too.
That's true. I forgot about the stop clicks.
Yeah. Yeah. I also did like Caleb Reddick's team with all of the Wendigos. I think that team's also good even when Tri-Sentinel gets fixed.
I guess it depends on the fix.
Yeah, that's true. I'm assuming that Tri-Sentinel gets nerfed into where you just play one of them.
Like what? Once per turn for everyone with this trait, they can use something. Kind of like what they did with Proteus.
Yeah, something like that, maybe. It's funny. I'm also playing in the Majestics qualifier, and there's basically a couple of post rotation teams that I like. Mm-hmm. One of those is a mystical +16 team with that David Crichton's playing with the Dr. Fates for all of the actions, and then the rest of them are Wendigos and one Tri-Sentinel.
Wow.
Now, he is playing a Pym Pocket Tank and a Bat Signal and White Kryptonite, but I don't think you necessarily have to have those even for post-rotation play.
There's no IDs in this tournament, right?
Right, because it's limited, yeah.
That would get destroyed with IDs, but that's cool otherwise.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
One Ronin ID.
One Ronin. Well, because there's not Ancient Hold's not a map available in the Majestics play.
You just call in Blade, man. Blade comes in.
Well, the Ronin ID can also call in Hawkeye.
I was thinking more just Blade, so that way you don't get the Mystics damage from the Fates, because Blade has protected Mystics, I believe, so he could just come in and charge, go to town, killing everything. And he goes through the stop clicks.
Yeah, it's true. And he heals.
Yeah, that's something. That's probably, is that one of those like moments that you just want to experience once? Like, I just want to experience Blade cutting through Wendigos and Fates just one time. It could be just a fun event. I don't care. I feel like that would be one of the moments where afterwards you just sit back and feel like you need to get a cigarette or something, because it was just such a great experience having Blade cut through everything.
I don't think that would be a fun thing for the. I don't think that's casual event. That's not casual.
It doesn't have to be a named theme team. It could be something else.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, I think like absurd amounts of themes, the same theme, absurd amount of theme team, and an absurd amount of Wendigo, is actually pretty neat. In general. But yeah, no, the Dr. Fate, that gives you 5 actions with that many fates.
Mm-hmm.
So
it does.
So I mean, you've got 18, 20 points. He's got 20 points in old stuff. So,
you know, Dan, I almost wish, looking at this list of people from Heroes Throwdown, I wish they could go in and change your team title, because I'm looking through the list and I see all this Captain Marvel Avengers, and they're all playing the female super rare Captain Marvel. You're the only one playing the Ultra Chase. But just looking at the list in general, I'm like, man, look at all those Captain Marvel Avengers teams, and then you see your name there listed. I'm like, Dan didn't play a Captain Marvel. Well, you did. You played Ultra Chase though. So
correct. Yeah.
We need an edit. We need an edit in here. Whoever runs this list, change it to Ultra Chase Captain Marvel Avengers.
He does. He's actually one of our patrons.
Well, there you go.
So
good work, great work that you did with this website. But
yeah, so I'm sure he'll get that updated. So, but yeah, no, I'm excited. I just and maybe I'm not quite the pilot for the Exospecs Batman team, but I think it's really good. Although I think if I had to go with a choice, I would go with Dr. Fates and Wendigos.
I mean, we've talked about this before. I feel like Prime Batman has to happen to set the meta straight.
Yeah, I mean, it just can't be that we know Prime Batman's good, nobody's going to play it. Well, I think a lot of people have to play it for it to make sense. Because it just is so good, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like no widows are in fear of Batman at all, because he's not being played, just period.
Yeah.
So it's until he gets played and wins, hey, I'll just keep playing Captain Marvel, Black Widow. I don't even have to care about the shifting focus right now, because I'm not seeing Batman, Prime Batman. So
right.
Yeah.
So, all right. You know what? I want to talk about 2 things before we get into our Trouble Alert segment. And then so Jeremy Christie asked, what's everyone's thought on Pauper allowing team-up cards with there only being 4 cards in a brick, and the cost of the secondary market for these? Do they hurt the intent of the Pauper format? So I don't think there's going to be, I don't know, so the answer is I'm not sure that it actually matters, Jeremy. Pauper already allows WWE figures that are $5-6 a piece, the WWE ring. It allows maps that are $100. Just because and I would say maybe having easy access is not the right answer. It's players having more access to all the potential pieces, not easy access.
So, I mean, to simplify it, the only one we're really concerned about is Amazo, right?
Yeah, really.
For Popper, I suppose, yeah.
So, I mean, would everyone be happier if they just said no Amazo team-up cards? Because you essentially lose Amazo's hindrance. Like, the reason Amazo in Modern, the team-up cards are great, but you have to deal with no sideline. Well, in Pauper, there's really not a sideline anyway outside of shifting focus because you can't play a trouble alert. So he gets kind of an added buff with the team-up cards because outside of, well, Highlander too. So, I mean, all the negative aspects of playing an Amazo team-up card is gone because it's already Highlander and there's really not a sideline you could play. So I think the question is, should Amazo be allowed to use team-up cards?
Sure. I see absolutely no reason why not.
Yeah, I think the price market for them will chill out a little bit, but I don't know. I guess it depends on how popular Amazo becomes.
It just depends on how popular is. I mean, for these online events, right? Like, the Rock Online requires, ownership. The Origins events want to require ownership of the figures. I'm sure the price will drop by the time States comes around. Well, they're not even doing a second States this year, right?
Right.
So it doesn't really matter for an in-person event this year. So, I mean, I think realistically, Jeremy, you have nearly a year to procure the cards before the next in-person Pauper States event.
Yeah, outside of maybe regionals or something that happened.
Yeah, I mean, except for the online stuff. I mean, and you can borrow for the online stuff, and so
there's just not enough times that it does matter for it to matter.
Right.
Right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mr. Colin Bell that we were just talking about earlier, who I want to see play Exo Specs on the team. Come on, Colin. He asked, so we did get a picture of the booster art for Fantastic Four, and there is a God Doom. What do you think his point value and rarity and dial will look like? It's your wild ass prediction at this point.
Well, he's got to have at least a 300-point dial, right?
So, God Doom's from Battle World, is that right?
Secret Wars, yeah.
Secret World?
He created Battle World, right?
Yeah, so he should have one of those Baron of Battle World or God of Battle World traits where he gets like leadership and perplex and a special perplex or something, right? Isn't that what they were back in Battle World?
Yeah, so +2 perplex to other characters and
Yeah. He needs like a Mortal Kombat fatality power because he just rips Thanos' spine out of his body.
If an opposing character named Thanos is on the board, if you hit, instant KO.
It's like double power action KO Thanos.
That makes me sad.
Hey, can you imagine playing an Ultra Chase and roll it to that event? And you're like, oh man.
Son
of a bitch.
So I get, I get that Doom we think should have a 300-point line. And then I get the starter one's playable at 100, right? You've been messing around with that, Jason. So what I would like to see is something along the lines of Chase Thor playability.
Oh yeah, that'd be
from Captain America and the Avengers, where it's like, it doesn't have to be 125, 75, and 50, but give me where you can get a 300-point God Doom team that actually kicks ass.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, I have a bold one for you. What if they gave him a Beyonder type dial?
Well, he was powered by the Beyonder, right?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. So what if they gave him
Mhm.
the Beyonder type thing? I mean, Beyonder was kind of broken until they fixed him, right? So maybe have some sort of aspect where he needs tokens taken off in order to die or something. I don't know, something crazy. Because this is
Yeah.
one of
they
the
they so
and
they
He
never
needs something
actually
crazy.
did they ever actually say in the comics how he was defeated?
Oh, I can't remember. It's been so long since I read that.
Yeah, that's kind of they just kind of it's kind of they kind of just zoomed ahead after that one. How was God Emperor Doom defeated? Yeah, it doesn't actually say. Yeah,
Let's see if I can find it here. I got my Marvel Unlimited here pulled up.
yeah, it doesn't actually say that, as far as I can tell. I guess it says that, and I don't know if this is correct or not because I've been fooled by the internet before. He took possession of Claw's body and used Claw's arm to trick Doom into losing control of his stolen power, reclaiming it, and defeated him. The Beyonder vanished with Doom and Claw. This is Beatle World Beyonder. Anyways, so I guess if he gets like -2 defense and Claw gets +2 attack against Claw.
all I know is it's gonna have to be amazing. Like, can you think of a more anticipated figure in HeroClix right now? Like in
No.
recent memory?
No.
We've been expecting him for like every set, haven't we? Like everyone's like, oh, it's a Batman set. Well, where's Doom? You know, they've said this all the time, especially when Battle World came out. Everyone's like, Doom's gonna be in it. He has to be. So we're finally getting him. So it has to be good. Can you imagine the outrage if the dial is like bad somehow? Like they just botch it completely?
Oh. Yeah, if it's bad, it's like.
Now it doesn't need to be
man.
broken. I mean, I don't think
people will be so pissed.
It doesn't need to be broken by any means, but I think it's just got to be great stats, have a point line above 300, I think, just for those type of games, but something that's just nasty, but not broken. That's the key thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. He's better be good. That's all I can say is, I just hope he's good so I don't have to see 5,000 Facebook posts on how bad he is.
And then you'll see all these people trying to play him regardless.
Yeah, I think that's fine. So, well, let's talk about some trouble alerts and troublemakers. So which way do we want to go? Do we want to go from bad to worse? Or, I'm sorry, bad to worse. From bad to good? On what we think about as the worst of these. So we're talking about these as strictly sideline pieces, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, there's no doubt some of these. Yeah, I think we'll just stick with sideline because down the road we could always talk about like Brainiac's great filler, Grodd's great filler, but even Wonder Twins is great as a piece. But I think people are wondering, all right, I'm not looking to play these Justice League. I'm playing a Marvel team. Who do I have to have? Because come rotation, your sideline's empty outside of Shifting Focus and Jason Weingart. So
yeah. So let's just start. It's a good one. So let's just do bottom, middle, and top. You did yours with grades.
Yeah.
So I think we will note that if they're good for main force and why. So Wonder Twins, they're probably the absolute worst for 10 points on their sideline.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of like a worse trouble alert to have.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
have options, I mean, it makes no sense to play the Wonder Twins. They're just so bad. I mean, sure, you're looking at it saying 10 points, 3 clicks, but it's like, okay.
They
Now,
don't do anything.
yeah. Now 25.6 clicks on the main force, they're fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's as if you don't ever want to have just one twin. You want both twins, which is the 25-point one. 10 point, think of it as just having, what are the names? Johnny? I don't know his name. Like, just one twin. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
I don't remember their names.
Zan and Jaina.
Jaina. Okay. I was at a J. So.
Right.
Then again, 10 points. Force Blast.
Mm-hmm.
They could pick Force Blast. There you go.
Yep,
Yeah.
Force Blast. Yep, close combat expert. But
Yeah. Just not quite worth it.
no.
Now the next, so you have next on your list here, Aquaman near the bottom. Now, I want to go ahead and just add that Aquaman is potentially near Broken and Golden Age.
Yeah.
As a main force figure, or even as a sideline figure, the Black Glove Demon team can easily get out of trouble alert. Aquaman can come out and make an average fish, which that average fish can then miss autonomously and start the Black Glove Demon combo over again. It's really, really crazy. And then on top of that, Vulture can tank something, kill the average fishes with the tank, and build up like half a gajillion charges with that away.
But that's not. Is that off of Trouble Alert, or is that you actually playing Aquaman?
Yeah, that one's you off of you playing Aquaman.
Yeah, if I'm sitting there, because keep in mind when you're playing Trouble Alert, you crit missed, or you missed basically all of your attacks that turn. 3 attacks, which is probably the average. So you're in dire straits. You probably don't want to be bringing in an Aquaman.
Right. So, totally agree. Totally agree.
True.
Also at the bottom, is Hot Girl. So disappointing. If the average bird had blades, I might move her up to maybe play.
Yeah. Hawkman's worse than Hawk Girl, I think. But yeah, they're both not great.
I mean, if you really just wanted to have her on the board for some reason and wanted another Trouble Alert, because she could pop out those average birds and they could just keep missing and you could just bring in another Trouble Alert, right? So,
True.
But I don't know why on earth you'd want to do that. But
no, I mean, it's only the third miss that allows you to get it, so.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Hawkman's just as bad down there.
Fun fact, I didn't realize this till I was looking at their dials. They share similar dials. Her first click, when she goes to click 2, is the same as Hawkman's first click, but he has the special power. And his second click is like her first click, but they switch. So it's like a little thing you may not have noticed because they have the special relationship. They share powers and abilities when they go to their second click. They like switch off what the other person had on their first. It's kind of a odd little thing I noticed. I was like, that's a
Nice.
neat little design thing. Maybe somebody at WizKids is like, someone noticed. Thanks.
Huh. You're probably the first person that's ever noticed that.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I also agree that Adam is down below.
Yeah.
Adam, Adam's one of those ones that you look at Adam, you get him and you get his click, and you look at his dial and you're like, Adam is awesome, great support powers and everything. And in your mind, you're like, oh, so when he's trouble alert, he has those support powers. But he doesn't. He gets to his garbage clicks when he goes to trouble alert. So if they had just given him one click, his one damage power, he would be great because he has leadership, outwit, and prob. Like, that's awesome. He would be almost top tier. But they did it for some reason. They were like, nope, trouble alert, he's just going to be Battle Fury.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he got hosed.
Now, Superman, you have him as a D. I'm going to say that Superman is at least top of mid-tier.
I had him. Let me defend first, and then you can say why. I had him upper C, almost B, until I kept reading his powers and looking at his stats, and that completely made me realize he's way too many points. He's the most costed trouble alert at 40 points, and that spinning around them as super fast usually works. Sounds great on paper, but the likelihood of it actually working is not good. So that's my only caveat with that.
So I would say he's maybe at least worth consideration for your 9th slot.
Okay.
Because, you've got 4 troublemakers and then 16 trouble alerts. So, you might want multiples of other ones. So Superman's at least on the consideration for your 9th slot, depending on what you have, right? And this all goes back to, not everybody's going to be able to afford, slotting out 9 Brainiacs, right?
You don't say. Yeah.
You don't, yeah.
Unless you're Jason, apparently. Goodness.
Yeah, Mr. 3 Brainiacs.
I only have 3, not 9. Okay.
Yeah, but the set's been out a week. Just wait.
Hey, I worked hard for that, okay? Nose to the grindstone.
This is all speaking out of jealousy. Pure jealousy.
I also got very lucky. I didn't pull one, but I got lucky otherwise trying to find them. Yeah.
Makes sense. So I want to cover troublemakers separately than trouble alerts. Because let's go on to the next one. So this one, I guess we're kind of up to mid-tier at this point. So next, you kind of have Batman next. And I think Batman just got outclassed by Black Vulcan and Samurai.
Yeah. Well, if you're considering him just for poison, yeah, they just do it better.
Yeah. Now, he does have Outwit, and he's the only one that can come in with Outwit besides Green Arrow's Pog, but Green Arrow's Pog goes to your opponent, so that doesn't help you. Yeah. So I would say Batman is probably worth at least a slot 8 consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just most likely going to die. That's the reason I had him low, is because if you're counting on him coming out turn 2 and pulse waving, that's very unlikely to happen because 1, he's either going to die from an opponent, or 2, you're going to roll the trouble alert power and he takes 1 damage and he's bad. He's got prop, but he's still bad at that point.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean,
his weakness is pretty bad too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But if you can bring him out and then stop the opponent from attacking you for a turn, that's when he comes in on that 8th slot, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got stealth and a 19 defense up close. Yeah.
Yeah. Robin, I think Robin's solid. I think Robin's probably goes back down to that 9th slot. But he's only 20 points for a perplex. And kind of an irrelevant weakness. I I don't agree to how high you have Apache Chief ranked.
Yeah, I debated about Apache Chief. Don't read it. Robin, just to go back to Robin, I almost wanted to put him lower, only because of the amount of perplex in the game currently. Like, having additional perplex is fine, but there's so much in the game currently. Like, how much we modify figure stats is crazy. So bringing in a Robin who's probably going to die quickly because he's only 2 clicks long, I feel like you don't need the extra perplex. You probably need the prob or the outwit or another attacker at that point. I don't know if bringing in Robin to boost a defense by 1 and then die is worth losing 20 points for. So most of this I kept in mind was, what is the likelihood of any team I'm playing, I'm going to bring in Robin. So I guess if it's a team that's lacking perplex, maybe. But if you're bringing in a trouble alert, then things are going south. So I don't know if 1 perplex is going to solve that equation. So that's why I have him a little bit lower. I almost wish I had put him a tiny bit lower than that. But yeah, that was why he's only so high because perplex is a top 3 skill. And I even mentioned that in there. It's just one of the best powers out there.
So what about why is Apache Chief so high, considering that a trouble alerts take damage potentially each turn?
I like Apache Chief just because if you could keep him alive 2 turns, because your probability of rolling the trouble alert thing is what, 33%?
It's
right?
50%. It's 4 through 6.
Oh, 4 through 6, sorry. So yeah, it's 50%. I feel like he's still going to survive 2 turns because he's got an 18 defense top dial and 2 super senses. The other thing is that he's the only bring-in person with Quake, I believe. So if you need Quake, you need the knockback, you need something like that, he is technically the only person that could do it, and he's the highest. I don't think anybody else has an 18 defense. So he's built to survive a little bit. I just like the fact that he could potentially just keep getting stronger. His potential is unlimited as long as you keep rolling really well. So that's why I have him higher, is because of his potential. And I think he's very underrated, but I can understand people putting him lower.
Okay, that's fair.
Like right now I have him in grade C, and my order on the article, these are in whatever order per grade. So I'm not saying Apache Chief is better than Batman. I'm saying grade C, all of these are considered decent, but they're not great. And I put that in the disclaimer at the top. They're not in order. They're in order of grade. So anything in grade C is better than grade D. But so Apache Chief, I don't think he's better than Batman, but I think he has his place, especially if you need a Quake to knock people back, or you have a team built around being able to, because they can be healed, right? So if you have a way to just keep him alive, he could potentially change the game because he could just keep getting big man tokens, and he could be a 13 attack with crazy reach and more damage. He has the most potential out of any figure just because you keep him alive, he's going to keep growing. So
that makes sense. So next on the list we got Green Arrow. I think Green Arrow is tier A if your team does not use any equipments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Gulliver is tier A on Jason teams without equipment.
Mm-hmm. I would also say, and I put this in the article, Green Arrow is also grade A if you have a hyper, like an Alpha Strike team. So if you could get into your opponent's starting zone, like turn 1, turn 2, and you flub and you miss or you crit miss, bring in Green Arrow because they have to generate Gulliver, and then you're right there in the starting zone to just kill Gulliver, and you now have a full point Green Arrow. So Alpha Strike has a potential to actually make him good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I like it.
It's just, and there might be play. The thing is that this is all optional, right? So when you're calling in a trouble alert, if your team is, if I'm playing a team that Immortal Hulk, so I've got I got the arms, I've got Magneto with a ring, I got, I'm fully equipped, and I'm doing well, but maybe I'm not hitting so well because they have a bunch of equipment too. I mean, you can weigh your odds about whether you think your opponent's going to roll that one with Gulliver. It's just you have to play that game where you're like, okay, I don't mind if I lose my objects. Like if you're playing one or two objects, you can weigh, okay, if I lose my objects, that's not that big a deal because they're losing all three of theirs, and theirs might be essential, whereas mine are just convenient. So it's one of those where you get the option of, oh, okay, I can do this if I want to. I don't have to, though. Like, I don't have to play Green Arrow. His stats are just too good, though, I think. So.
Yeah, I agree. And his weakness is not that relevant either.
Yeah. If you run into his occasional weakness, you were playing him wrong somehow.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, he can negate that pretty easy.
Yeah, sidestep. I mean, he shouldn't be next to anybody when you bring him in.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And then you wind up with if you can get him on click 1. I mean, yeah, he's like he gets +1 to all his stats, right? So.
Yeah, he gets pretty nasty. His stats don't get crazy good at click 1, but.
Well, he'd be like 12 for 3 with RCE and like
no, he doesn't.
Defense,
he doesn't get. He just gets brought to click 1. He doesn't get to modify his combat values.
Oh, that's only if he was 40 points.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still, I mean,
a free figure that's 11 for 2 with RCE and precision strike's not bad.
Well, 10 for 2, yeah. Then if he gets to heal up, yeah, I get what you're saying.
No, he's 11 for 2 on his top click, but he heals up, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. If he heals up, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. So, so someone asked me why I played Samurai on an online event. And I said because I didn't think that 3 Black Vulcans would be believable. Samurai is good. All right. I think Samurai is really good. His weakness is largely irrelevant, right? Because these things are optional, right? You don't have to bring him out versus shifting focus widows. But the ability to force blast someone, then give them an action token is really, really good.
Yeah.
Same reason Superman's good, right? Being able to give your opponent, being able to outpace your opponent is really powerful. It always has been.
I feel like Samurai is very underrated. Like when you think of all the trouble alerts, everyone's just talking Black Vulcan and Firestorm and Brainiac. Like no one I know is really talking Samurai.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, I mean, I'll play Samurai in probably my 6th or 7th slot.
Yeah. I might play him more in my 5th. Like he's just because of the Force Blast phasing TK and the fact that you could bring him in to TK somebody forward and they might remove a token.
Yeah.
Because it's for either you Force Blast or you TK or bring him into poison or bring him into charge exploit. Like he has so much versatility that he could cover so many. He could phase and teleport and just carry your person out because he's got flight. Like he just has a lot of options, and he doesn't get worse when he takes damage. Like he gets worse at click 3 because he loses exploit, but even then he goes up to a 3 damage. So it's just he's good all dial, and his powers are traded.
Yeah.
So there's really not a downside to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Green Lantern. I like him. I like him more main force now than I do on the sideline. He's competing for that slot with against the Wonder Twins now.
Yeah, that's true. With the barrier, yeah.
The barrier, and he brings another enhancement to the table, right? He doesn't die to Ace, like he can pump Batman back up with more enhancements after the Fates die against Ace, right? He's got a whole dial of enhancement. I like it. I like him.
Yeah, he's really solid.
Now, he doesn't have 6 clicks of barrier like the Wonder Twins do.
Or any willpower. Why doesn't he have willpower?
I don't know.
He's Green Lantern, for crying out loud.
Maybe this was the Green Lantern that Batman stole the ring from at some point.
Well, that's Hal Jordan, so...
maybe he wasn't willpowery in the Justice Friends. So
I guess.
I have no idea.
I don't know. It just pisses me off. That's just the whole thing about Green Lantern is that they should have willpower. They just do that way too much. And just,
Green Lantern's another one of those figures that you almost wish he had that damage power to bring in Cairo. Because Cairo's awesome. Like, he's great. But if he was able to bring in Cairo, then Green Lantern would be just stupid. So...
yeah, but that's what we're working up to. We're working up to things that are just stupid.
That's true.
So
yeah, he could have done it. Would have been fine.
Yeah,
missed opportunity.
Just have him do it, right? Like, why even come? Why? Just why not? Why can't he do that? Just convince me otherwise, right?
Yeah. Why didn't Adam get his damage power like you said? Like, I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Just make it happen. Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman competes also with Superman and Batman, just from that token ability.
I think what propels her higher is just she's the only one with leadership, and that drive. Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're playing Justice League, then you don't need the leadership generally. But a lot of teams could use an extra leadership.
Yeah, especially if you run out there and you miss, and then Wonder Woman can then charge with that 4th action and then get you maybe that attack that can matter in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if you're out of action, she can still try to token somebody because it's free for her to do that.
Right.
Yeah, if I'm only playing one of every trouble alert and not doubling up, she has been, before we got the Justice League one, she's always been my number 2. I always have her for that leadership. I might have leadership on my team, but when I need her, I probably need leadership for some reason. So that's what propels her higher than the others. Like the lasso thing, not bad. I mean, decent chance to hit it, pretty cool. But it's the leadership. Just being able to have another one in there to give you a little extra oomph, like Dan said, in a turn is huge. Yeah. So. Which doesn't help with Justice League teams because you already have like 20 actions. But, yeah. Hey, well, she could leadership. She has Justice League, so she can leadership tokens off. So.
Yeah. Yeah, she's good main force, too, potentially.
Yeah.
For a 30-point leadership. Flash. Man, our boy Flash, I think, is just always near the top. But he has been outclassed. And by the way, how do we get a Flash that can fly finally? Like, why is he the only Flash that can fly?
I don't know. It's odd, isn't it? Yeah.
But hypersonic, 10 attack, precision strike with a somewhat irrelevant weakness, and then prob. He's really good. He's just solid, right? He's like a Hulk, right? Like, he's good at what he does, but he's not over the top fantastic at what he does.
I think his biggest detriment is the fact that you gotta, when you bring him out, you have to attack and do something, because his second and third click are the most confusing clicks I've seen in a long time.
Right. Pulse Wave, TK.
Hypersonic.
Yeah.
Hypersonic Pulse Wave, like next to what Jason said with Green Lanterns not having willpower, Hypersonic Pulse Wave has always been one I've always scratched my head at.
Right.
Yeah.
Outside of figures who could combo them, because there was one or two, I think, that could use Hypersonic Pulse Wave. But just, period. Oh, I've got a Hypersonic and Pulse Wave. All right, we'll choose one and figure that out.
Yeah, it's like always what Silver Surfer got. It always just pisses me off.
Well, now the new Silver Surfer can do that.
It took them all this time, so almost 20 years to get that figured out.
Right.
Yes. They're like, we should make them work in tandem. Genius.
Yeah, they were probably listening to me bitch about it, every so often on the podcast, and finally said, "Oh, yeah, we can do that." Yeah.
Right. So
I
now
just take credit for it. Yeah, why not?
Might as well. So now we're at the tippy top, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Our last two. Now I think the next one in the number 2 slot now is Firestorm. But I think Firestorm also falls in with Flash, that you have to be able to bring out Firestorm and attack with him that turn.
Yeah. And people need to remember when we talk about number 2, I mean, we're obviously, this is dependent on your matchup, clearly. Because there's going to be instances where number 5 makes a whole lot more sense than number 2, like Firestorm.
Right.
But yeah, I think what we're going to say for number 1, Firestorm, has fallen back a bit.
Yeah. Firestorm is really freaking amazing. Now, Firestorm's also 40 points. He's the same cost as Superman.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, Firestorm has made a difference in some matchups, with being the points on, but the changer. You got to be careful with Firestorm. Firestorm's a big dog. Now, number 1, the new big dog for Super Friends, Black Vulcan. Can we talk about how crazy, if you're bringing him out and he gets to do penetrating poison, then a triple target energy explosion that's penetrating, that's just insane.
That's insane, yeah. And he's just so good. It's triple target, yeah.
That's up there with using Blade to kill a bunch of Wendigos.
Right, yeah. If you run up and you see a bunch of Wendigos and you miss against them, you can still poison one to death and then triple target penetrating energy explosion potentially the rest of the team.
Yep.
That's a bit ridiculous. I mean, you talk about a 10 attack, but, if you're in that dire of a straits, just roll your dice. Maybe your 3 misses have led to you being able to hit this next attack. I don't know.
Every trouble alert has 10 attack, I believe. Every single trouble alert. Yeah, Let's Cause Trouble has more, but trouble alerts all have 10 starting.
Yeah, but then his second click, if he takes damage, he goes to an 11.
11, yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk about, if he comes out, does an attack, takes a damage from his trouble alert the next turn, and then he goes to 11, penetrating poisons again maybe, then has an 11 attack, triple target energy explosion, pushes onto his last click where he's got probability control and reroll of senses. You're talking about a back-to-back turn there. That's just crazy for the only potential cost of 25 points.
Yep. His occasional weakness is lame also. You won't have to worry about it.
Not really, no. Not on any kind of piece that can kill Vulcan.
Exactly.
I guess they took Solomon Grundy's pants off and put them on him, I guess, as his weakness, right?
Barrier, yeah. Being forced to wear pants, my occasional weakness.
I mean, Grundy wants pants, and Vulcan's got them and doesn't want them. That's
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is with DC characters and their pants, but. So I think Rick Ryan asked, what is your number one pick for both of those? And then so I think my answer for the Trouble Alerts is Black Vulcan. Followed up by Firestorm for sure.
Yep. Now, obviously, if you're playing against a team that's just a bunch of invincible, then you don't obviously want to play Black Vulcan. You'll pick Batman to outwit it. I don't know. These are all circumstantial regarding what team you're playing against. We're talking purely what you want on your sideline. What knives do you want in your Swiss Army knife for when things go bad? And Black Vulcan is probably the one you're using the most.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've got 4 troublemakers now. I was originally admittedly torn on troublemakers to start out with, and I've really had to play them quite a bit to be able to fully appreciate their value in the meta. So I think that there's actually times and abilities, or time and where they just make sense. So let's talk about them. I think all 4 of them are playable. They each have their own unique situations they can be used in. But unfortunately, there's got to be one towards the bottom, right?
Yep.
And that's Black Manta.
I'm actually kind of torn. I think because I put them both in the same category, I believe. I think Lex might actually be worse.
I agree. I think Manta's better than Lex.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Lex only brings Precision Strike and Enhancement to the table. He doesn't really bring anything extra. Manta has the 1-2 combo of his powers, which could be great if he hits. Because when he hits, after resolutions, choose one, place a hit character adjacent to Manta, or generate a water terrain marker in his square and the hit character square. So if you do that, you put the water in there, then he can activate Set the Oceans on Fire, and then you could potentially also deal that opposing character with 1 penetrating damage. So it's a 1-2 combo that's real good. You deal 2 exploit, and you penetrating poison him, essentially, penetrating damage him. But you got to roll well, and you got to make sure you hit.
Mm-hmm.
Lex offers support powers like enhancement, and that's about it. It's just Lex also has the cake thing, which people take too much credit for because he's not going to last for it.
Yeah.
So, but he's great for enhancement, and he's great for the 11 precision strike. That's why I put him in this grade, is because 11 attack precision strike for 3 damage is good, just period, for 10 points.
Yeah.
So you can't really put any of these, like you said, Dan. You'll want to probably play all 4. You can't put these anything below grade C because they're still decent pieces, even if they have suspect powers.
Right. Now, I would say Manta also comes in really good on the Majestics event because Flashpoint Flood Map is legal.
Yeah.
So you can nearly almost always exploit him. So Lex, I think, definitely excels on main force for Scientist theme teams and even in Justice League theme teams. But, I think Lex just offers more flexibility than Manta. That's why I would put Lex a little bit higher.
Lex is just missing a power. That's the problem.
Lex is missing that ability to deal the damage, right?
Every other Let's Cause Trouble has, Manta has if they're in water, Grodd has if they're in hindering, and Brainiac has if they're on elevated. So Lex needed if they're in obscuring terrain, which I know that means nothing. But if you go to WWE, which is going to be a popular map, it has a ton of obscuring, then he would be relevant there. But they didn't give him a power like that, so
sure.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So as far as troublemakers go, is your number one Grodd or Brainiac for your sideline?
Jason, do you want to go first?
I like Brainiac. I don't know.
Why do you like Brainiac more than Grodd?
He's packing Outwit instead of Empower, which is probably overall more useful. And free triple target incapacity. I guess better than the mind control.
Well, so Grodd also has Quake.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So I will play the other side. I think Grodd is actually better than Brainiac. The more that I've looked at him. He only has a 10 attack. That's the only downside to him. I wish he had 11.
Yeah.
But
he has lower attack. Yeah.
He has the flexibility to go ranged or close combat. He could go into Quake or he could lead climb to mind control. It's more likely that your character is going to be in hindering than elevated, unless you're on Ancient Hold or something where you're clearly on elevated. But I feel like you're more likely to be in hindering. So I feel like I get it. Brainiac's amazing. I think he's amazing as a main force more than a Let's Cause Trouble. I think Grodd just has that flexibility of both sides, where maybe you think that you have really bad dice rolls, and so you're like, I'm going to play more Trouble alerts than Let's Cause Troubles. So maybe you just only put in Grodd, and I feel like you have the flexibility of going, oh, he can either Quake or he can mind control. Both of those are good. Whereas Brainiac can only in-cap, right, for his phasing. So, yeah. Which is still good, but I feel like Mind Control or Quake is arguably better. So it's just the -1 attack, the only 10 attack as opposed to 11 kind of sucks. Yeah. But I arguably like Grodd better because of his versatility.
Right. So I think that you for sure play these guys at slots 3 and 4. So if 1 and 2 are Black Vulcan and Firestorm, slots 3 and 4 are a Brainiac and a Grodd. Now, if you can't get your hands on a Brainiac and you can get your hands on a second Grodd, I think you can play 2 Grodds and be fine. I'm a big fan of the Quake to just end the game. But Brainiac totally has his uses for Ancient or King's Tomb, and then some of the other maps, Metal Arena, and that sort of thing.
Now, Jason, I have to know, did you vote Brainiac the highest because you have 3 of him?
No. I'd like to have 3 Grodds too, but I just haven't had any luck finding them yet.
No, I haven't either. I've got 1. I pulled 2, but I traded him away for one of the other chases that I won.
I mean, I don't know. I like them both a lot. I don't know. I just like the pacing with the incapacitate's really good. It's a bigger range. The outwit's really good. I don't know.
I would say
I don't think you go wrong with either one of them.
To answer Rick Ryan's question, I think you absolutely would need to have both Brainiac and Grodd. But I think if you had to force me to only having 1, I think I would have to say Grodd.
Yeah, or if you're playing a Black Widow team where most of your sideline is shifting focus or something like that, yeah, you could get away with just Grodd and Brainiac, or just Grodd. It really just depends, because Brainiac is just ridiculously priced right now. So Grodd, I think, is cheaper. Like, I feel like he is.
Yeah.
So you could probably get away with getting him instead. I mean, you could get away with getting a Black Manta or a Lex, too. Just to have an extra figure to put on there for 10 points to add a little oomph to, you crit hit or you hit 3 times. So
yeah. Now, I would say that Brainiac is just one of the most excellent filler pieces ever.
Mhm.
And what this set has shown me is that I had better never ever see again. I want to call it Perplex being 15 points. A support power is only worth 10 points now.
Yeah.
If Outwit is only 10 points on Brainiac, you can't tell me that Prob and Perplex and Support and Close Combat Expert is worth more than those powers now. So,
it's true.
If they continue to give us troublemakers that have 10 point of support powers, sign me up. Because I would like a 10 point theme, 10 point relevantly named, or relevantly generic keyworded prob piece or perplex piece.
Yeah.
Dan, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
You played with the Let's Cause Trouble in a recent tournament, right?
Yeah.
Were you more likely... Did you ever call them in? And if you did, was it more likely because you crit hit, or because of you hit all opposing targets with the third attack or whatever?
I never brought in a Let's Cause Trouble.
Did your opponent ever? Because I'm wondering.
Yeah, so it did in the Majestics event when we were on the water map.
Mhm.
They brought in a Black Manta and dealt my team 1 penetrating damage.
Because I'm really curious about the likelihood if you're significantly more likely to crit hit as opposed to made the third attack this turn to hit all opposing targets. Like, that's a lot more restrictive than people think. Whereas trouble alerts, you just got to miss 3. But like me and Jason, I think we discovered this when we were practicing. You have to hit all opposing characters. So if you miss one, like you multi-target and miss one, well, that cancels this because you have to hit all of your opposing characters.
I mean, I did it. I brought it in like turn 2 when we played, right?
Yeah.
And it was Grodd that I brought in at the time.
Well, no, you did a Vulcan. You did a
no.
Vulcan.
I brought in Grodd and Vulcan.
Oh, you're right.
In back-to-back turns. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. But
it's I think what the funniest thing to me would be is if you play Vulture. Because Vulture could easily hit 3 attacks in a turn and then critically miss, or miss 3 attacks in a turn.
Yeah.
So he could bring in both a troublemaker and a trouble alert in the same turn.
Wow.
And that's just super crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see the numbers. I'm a big numbers guy, so it's like I think you're more likely to crit hit and bring one in than to make a third attack this turn to hit all opposing targets. Because do you have to hit all opposing targets for the first and second attack too? Or is it just purely the third attack to hit all opposing targets?
The third attack to hit.
Okay. So I guess if you play it right, it might be better.
Right. So I got one more question for you guys that I thought about as we were going through this. Yeah, if you guys are done with trouble alerts.
Yeah.
Is 2x2 Magneto the new Groot?
He's better than Groot, I think.
He does more probably than Groot. Yeah.
Yeah, so just unthemed leadership, TK, Retail, Sidestep Flight, and Master of Magnetism.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's very good.
Yeah.
he gives you so much flexibility with moving. Just being able to just move one person, one square. I mean, that's still huge.
Yeah. So I would say to borrow a sudden death, if you don't have your 2x2 Magneto, acquire one sooner than later.
Yeah, they're getting pretty pricey. I think I got mine when they were still 20. I don't know if he's still 20 or not.
Yeah, I was gonna look.
Because we're kind of getting in the twilight of the X-Men set when the availability is gone and people are now just trying to get what they can get.
Yeah, he is $37-ish dollars.
Oof.
$38-ish dollars. So.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like the cheapest one's like $31.99. It's available for sale right now.
Yeah, he kind of bounced around because I think people are still unsure about pricing. So, because one on May 25th sold for like $12, but that's just one of those eBay random, someone got really lucky. So he's going to be in the mid 30s as scarcity grows, and he's just an all around just really good piece.
Right.
Yeah, somebody took a best offer on like $9.10. That guy was lucky.
Yeah, for real.
That was like a week ago. Wow.
Get out of here.
I should have been looking.
That's crazy. I'm looking at that one on May 25th.
Yeah. That's incredibly lucky. But yeah, no, he just does so much for so little. He's way better than Groot. Because Groot, near the end of Groot's life, wasn't getting the Walking Woods a majority of the time. So, or half the time. So I think Magneto is arguably better just because what he can add to the team.
Right. Then Alan Dwyer left. I wonder how JOU Brainiac and JOU Grodd got left out. I think he means got left out of the set.
I'm not sure what he meant by that.
So are they Troublemakers from Justice League Unlimited, or are they from the Super Friends set?
They're from Super Friends. I guess he's talking about just regular.
So main set. Yeah, so main set. Yes, because Brainiac. Hold on, I gotta look this up again. Brainiac.
Yeah, we didn't get like an actual unlimited Brainiac either.
Right. Oh, okay. So Justice League Unlimited Brainiac is when he combined with Lex.
Mm-hmm.
So he did that a couple of different ways. And there's a picture of Amanda Waller shooting him with a laser shotgun. That's cool.
Yeah.
So
now there was a picture that popped up at one point. Remember that was like the Brainiac Lex amalgam.
That's right.
I don't know where that came from. We never heard anything. Maybe it's a Connex.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
We haven't heard anything about it, but that did pop up.
So that's more likely than anything, right?
I would think, yeah.
So Gorilla Grodd, you know what? That's right, because didn't Gorilla Grodd in Justice League Unlimited lead the Secret Society? Like, wasn't he the leader?
And like in season 2, he was the guy that was kind of behind it, yeah.
Yeah. So we did get the Sinestro, and we got the Star Sapphire lady, right? Wasn't she in the Secret Society too? I can't remember now.
Yeah, she was in there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you're right. We should have gotten those.
Well, there is like the uncommon Lex, isn't he? Like this, he's a Lex in there that was from that set, from the show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we didn't get a Grodd from the show at all, or a Brainiac from the show.
It's just one of those you just can't second guess DC's choosing of figures because it's just always going to be wrong. There's always going to be a couple figures that they just for some reason left out. For some reason, and no one knows why.
Yeah.
So
there's only so many slots in the set, so.
Yeah, that's true. Those would have been two good inclusions. So. All right. Well, guys, what do you have for final thoughts today?
I don't know. I learned how to use Roll20, so if you don't know how to do it, I suggest doing it. It's pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, so you're like the last person on the planet to get on to Roll20, probably.
Probably at least close to that. Maybe the next to last guy.
I will say this. Playing Jason online does not make me excited about the future of my children and how they may sound in the background, because his children are older than mine, and I hear some things. I'm like, oh, that's going to be me. I'm not looking forward to this. I feel so sorry.
Yeah, that's the reason why. Like, one of the reasons why I wouldn't play online for the longest time, because they're just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how old your oldest kids are, but like, yeah, that like my daughter, she's just, I don't know, super sassy right now.
Yeah, if I want to play on Roll20, I just say, all right, kids, you can go play the Switch, and they'll be distracted for a good 30 minutes to an hour, so I can get a game in real quick before they're like fighting and wrestling and screaming. So yeah, it's fun. But hey, we get to play.
Yes. Yeah, I got to play, so I'm happy about that. And I'm even going to play in an online tournament, so yeah.
Yeah, Nate posted the Discord server tonight for their online event. So
should be a fun tournament. So
yeah, I think so. Can't seem to find there. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, so Nate's got his rules posted and all that other stuff, and yeah, I think he said next weekend, or so the 13th. So next weekend, next weekend he's going to post the pairings during a live video and stuff. So I don't know if anybody listens at the end of the episode and wants to send me a message whether they want me to see me play Justice League Prime Batman or Vulture, I will accept anybody's suggestions as I formulate my team this week.
I mean, you do technically have all the Wendigos. You could do that Fate Wendigo team too.
Well, but I don't have to prove ownership for this one, so.
Oh, that's true.
I can literally play whatever I wanted to. I mean,
it could be flexing, little flex points. I already own all of this.
Yeah, that's true.
I only have play the 3 Brainiacs.
I only have 19 Wendigos right now, so.
Bummer.
Yeah, I had to trade one off or something, so.
I've got one. I've got one Wendigo.
All right, we have 20 between the two of us. Alex, what are your final thoughts?
With you with 19 Wendigos and me with 1, this is like that thing. Who's the most famous hockey player? Shoot, now I'm blanking.
Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, they did a thing where it's like Wayne Gretzky and his brother scored the most points as a brother duo in hockey history, and it's because his brother scored 1 and Gretzky scored like hundreds, but technically they own the highest amount of goals scored by brothers in the NHL. That's how this would be. You bring the 19 Wendigos and I bring 1. So,
you know what though? I know somebody that actually has 20 still, so I'm not the top dog or whatever you might want to say.
Either way, the last thing I want to say is check out our website, clicksoft.com.
Clicksoft.com. So, all right. Well, I appreciate everyone listening to us, and thanks for listening. There, we had a little bit of break. I had Theo's first year birthday party and my own birthday this past week, so we're glad to get back into the swing of things and recording more regularly. Tyler has a big boy job now. So we're going to have to schedule around his big boy job currently. So we're super happy for our boy Tyler for getting into that. So thanks everybody for listening to Clickstuff, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
Later.